Okay guys, coming back to you from my room down here at school. This video is going to come with a warning. 1, adult language, and 2, a little bit of politics. So, if you don't want to hear either of that, this is your warning to go ahead and hit the back button now. Normally I wouldn't talk about politics because that's not what my channel is about, and this is more about, fixing equipment and farming and having fun. But I saw something today that pushed me over the edge and makes me want to do a little bit of a rant because frankly I'm legitly pissed. So it started, got done with my first class today, and I got 3 hours in between the classes I got, so instead of coming back to the apartment, I stay on campus and go to one of the study rooms we have there in Lily Hall, which is the main agronomy building on campus. And I go in there and do homework and just hang out for a while till my next class. Well, got done with my homework today while I was in there, and there's a bunch of farm papers and stuff in there that the professors bring in, and there was a farm journal from last week, or not a farm journal, a farm world laying there from last week that I hadn't got to yet. So I'll flip that open and I'm reading through it, and they have this section in there called News from Around the Farm World, which is basically just a bunch of little snippets of news that's generally not worth doing a full story on. So I'm reading through there, and this one headline or one title catches my eye. It says, "Man caught stealing corn or seed corn from fields in Iowa." Well, naturally that piques my interest and I start reading through there. Basically what happened was a group of Chinese that are nationalized U.S. citizens went to Iowa and were stealing corn out of Pioneer and Monsanto seed fields and sending it back to China so that they could reproduce the genetic traits. Now, that's the first thing that pisses me off. So I'll continue reading down through the article, and basically out of all of them, it sounds like only one of them actually got caught, and they found him down in Florida. So they catch him, and since it's a short article, they didn't really go through how they caught him, how they found out about it, or anything like that. But basically, the government said that they're only going to seek a maximum of 5 years, or seek a maximum of a 5-year prison term. That's the second thing that pisses me off. Now, I don't know if, well, I know a lot of you guys that watch this channel are farmers, and I also know a lot of people that watch this channel are just like tractors and stuff. So I don't know how much you guys know about the current market, but basically part of the reason that the grain markets have tanked, especially the soybean market, is because China is refusing to buy U.S. corn and beans because they're GMO crops. So my first question is, if China's got something against GMOs, why the hell are they over here stealing our seed corn so that they can reproduce the genetic traits? Okay, first thing. Second thing, if it was a U.S. company stealing seed from another U.S. company to reproduce the genetics of it, at the very least, Company A that was doing the stealing from Company B would have to pay Company B a crap ton of money in fines. At the most, Company B would end up owning Company A by the time all lawsuits had got done flying. So why won't the government do the same thing that they would do to a U.S. company to this Chinese company that was stealing traits from an American company? That's a bunch of political bullshit. Those guys that got caught stealing the corn should be buried in a hole so deep that nobody's ever going to find them again. But because they're not actual, or because they're with a foreign company, the U.S. government's going to take it easy on them. That's horse shit. So that brings me to the next thing is I don't understand why people in this country think that the Chinese are such intelligent people. Now, this isn't even a racist thing, so before anybody starts saying that, that's a crock of shit. I'm going to a school here where, I mean, Purdue, they don't actually list the numbers of foreign students, but I'll bet that at least 30% of the population here at school is Asian, at least, if not more. Now, not to mention the fact that I lived with a guy from China for my first year down here at school, and we're not even going to get into that experience, but it was an experience. So, just to give you a rundown, I've met people from China, India, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam. You name it, they're here. Hands down, the coolest ones are the kids from South Korea. I'll hang out with them any day. But the worst are the Chinese. They are the most shifty, untrustworthy, unpleasant to be around people that are here. Trust me, I lived with one for a year. I know. I deal with them every day. I know. They are not the brightest bunch of people in the box. And everybody in this country seems to think that they're so great and they're so progressive in their technology and they're industrious. If that's the case, why are they over here having to steal our proprietary technology so that they can go back and reverse engineer it so that they can have something? And second off, why are they stealing our technology that they don't even like, that they say they don't even like, because they won't buy GMO corn or corn and beans from us in any kind of quantity? That just Now that brings me on to the government. Why is it that the government will go out of their way to inconvenience U.S. companies for trying to do the right thing? The more money you make, the more they're going to tax you. So, what's the incentive for a company to either try to start up, or B, invest in increasing production here in the States? Now, a foreign company comes in here and tries to rip off an American company, and the U.S. government is basically giving them a slap on the wrist. What the fuck? So, I don't even know what to say. This is just ridiculous. Really, here's a tip for you, Uncle Sam. Instead of trying to turn this country into a socialist state and redistributing the wealth so that everybody gets fucked evenly, how about you try protecting the interest of U.S. companies and letting them actually make money here so that they can afford to give people more benefits. They can afford to invest in additional production to create jobs. They can afford to do the stuff that capitalism is supposed to do. Everybody in this country seems to believe that capitalism is the problem. Capitalism is not the problem. The government is the problem. If capitalism was allowed to work like it's supposed to, businesses in this country would make enough money to do everything that the government is trying to force them to do through government programs now. But instead, the government is meddling in things that they have no business meddling in, have no clue what to do when they're meddling in it, and it's making companies move offshore to, one, get away from all the government regulation, and two, so they can build stuff cheaper. They can do all that here if the government would just let them go. And this pisses me off so much. So much. It scares the living shit out of me to know that there's an election coming up. And to know the people that are running for a presidential nomination. I am scared to death that in 4 years, this is not going to be the same country I grew up in, and I'm not going to have a fighting chance, because people think, and the worst part is, it's people in my generation. People in my generation think that socialism and communism is the greatest thing in the world because nobody taught them that socialism and communism are bad. I just, damn. This isn't, guys, I don't even know what to say. I am so at a loss of words and so pissed off at what's going on right now. And the reason our economy is tanking is not because capitalism has failed. It's because the government, or it's because this country is allowing other countries to surpass it in technology, and the damn U.S. government is assisting them in doing it. Because they make it so hard to have a business here in this country that it's not even funny. I mean, the government motto is, the more you makes, the more we takes. That's exactly what they're trying to do. That's what redistributing the wealth is. Why are you going to take the money from the people that are creating the jobs and give it to the people that are too fucking lazy to get a job? Explain that to me. Why the fuck would you punish an American company for coming here, trying to create something, give people jobs, create a revenue stream, and why would you just give a company that is a foreign company that's coming here, stealing proprietary technology from a U.S. company, why would the government just give them a slap on the wrist and say, eh? And they say that they're only going to seek a maximum of a 5-year sentence. Well, I can guarantee you that's probably going to mean 6 months, 6 months minimum security tops. It's just, And the worst part, all I can say is, wow. This isn't even the country I remember, and I was born in 93. That's how much this place has changed in the last 22 years. It's just fucking ridiculous what people in this country are allowing to happen. And yeah. I just really hope that in the next 6 months, whatever it is, till November when the elections are here, somebody somewhere pulls their head out of their ass and somebody actually votes the right way. And part of the thing that frustrates me is people keep saying Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. You need to quit thinking that way. There are no more Democrats, there are no more Republicans, there are no more liberals, there are no more conservatives. They're all the same now. They all want to fuck you. They're going to go about it different ways. You need to start thinking capitalism versus socialism and communism, American versus anti-American, our way of life that our forefathers fought for in at least 3 different wars on our soil. Because you got the Revolution, the War of 1812, and the Civil War. That was all fought to maintain our way of life. As fast as this country is going downhill, all those lives were lost in vain. Because everything they fought for, my generation is just going, not good enough. We don't want to work for it. We want the government to give us money. And oh my God, the amount of college students that think Bernie Sanders is the second coming of Christ. That is fucking stupid. hey guys, he's going to make college $1,500 at a maximum per year. And everybody can have a chance to go to college. If everybody has a chance to go to college, that college degree isn't even worth the paper it's written on anymore. The reason a degree is worth something is because a select few have the gumption to go to college to learn and better themselves. If everybody went to college, it'd be the same as everybody going to high school. Ain't nobody any better than anybody else. And there's a really, really, really funny meme floating around on the internet that has a bunch of college students walking around holding up Bernie Sanders signs, and it says, "This is what happens when everybody gets a participation ribbon." That is exactly fucking right. You know what, people? Life isn't supposed to be fucking fair. There are some of those people that go out, put their boots on every morning, go out and work their ass off. I don't want to have to support somebody that wakes up in the morning and sits on the fucking couch and watches TV and plays video games all day because they're too fucking lazy and too fucking stupid to go out and get a job. And I don't want the government telling me what I can and can't do with my money. I don't want the government telling me that I need to have health insurance. I don't want the government telling me shit. And that's... While we're on the subject, I really wish the government would just get out of fucking ag altogether. Because, you know what? Farmers have always had this image of being independent and hard workers and all this bullshit. Well, you know, and I'm not saying that farmers are getting rich off the government either. That's not what I'm trying to say. But basically, the government meddling in agriculture and the farm bill and all that bullshit is supporting poor farm management. Because if it wasn't for government subsidies, these mega farms ain't no way in hell they'd be able to make it. Because I know how hard it is to make the right decisions on a farm that's only 1,500 acres. There's a farm up in Michigan, at least one farm that I know of, it's 25,000 acres. You start farming that much ground, you will be cutting corners. You will be making poor management decisions. You will be years, probably more years than not, where you will be running at a loss. But because of government subsidies, farms like that are basically supported. That is fucking stupid. If capitalism was allowed to run its course like it should, farms like that would go under, the government wouldn't lose any money, the taxpayers wouldn't have to pay to support that farm, and then somebody that could do a better job would come in and take over. And don't feed me the bullshit line about there's not enough people who want to become farmers, because I'm in a whole school full of kids that would love nothing more than the farm. But and trust me, I know how expensive it is to get into, and I'm not saying you can't do it now, but it's hard as hell. But, of course, Obama would tell you that I didn't build this farm. The government built it for me. Everybody else built this farm for me. Okay, well, I didn't see anybody else out here pulling soil samples. I didn't see anybody else out here running tractor. I didn't see anybody else out here running fertilizer wrecks. Well, you know what, Obama, fuck you too. Wow, I took one heck of a loop from seed corn getting stolen out of Iowa. Oh, hell. This is just fucking ridiculous. The people in this country anymore. And the shame of it is, there's more of them than there are of us. There really is. I know some of you old guys that watch this channel, you would be scared shitless if you walked around a college campus and listened to these kids talk anymore. They don't know any of this, and they don't know the fact that if you don't remember history, it's bound to repeat itself. And the reason is, since the government's so involved in education now, they leave that shit out. I heard probably 8 months to a year ago now, there was a school out on the East Coast somewhere was teaching that the Pilgrims were terrorists. I tell you what, if you this would be the greatest, the best way that everybody needs to pay attention to who you should be voting for president. You need to find the candidate that stands up and says, you know what, America, you are still good. You can still accomplish good things. If somebody stands up and said that, they need to become president. Because especially the liberals. Well, I shouldn't even say that. Especially all the people that want to change this country. They keep trying to make us feel like Americans as a whole are bad people. Why? How many good things do we do in the world? We send more money and more food and more support to countries in need than any other nation on the face of this planet, yet we are the bad people. What the fuck, America? That's a crock of shit. I just, yeah. But, you know what I wish a politician would really have the guts to stand up and say? I wish we can get a politician that could stand up and look these so-called progressives in the eye that think that their way of changing this country is so much better. I want a politician to stand up, look him right square in the eye and say, well, I tell you what, son. You think that you can run this country so much better? Well, the nice thing about this country is it's free and there ain't nothing keeping you there, so you're free to get the fuck out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. But I'm just some poor dumb farmer, at least that's what the liberal media want you to assume, so what the hell do I know? But that was just my little rant for today. Like I say, I wouldn't normally do this, but man, the stupidity right now, I just can't stand it, so I had to say something. But I guess I ought to get back to doing homework or something here productive, so I guess we will catch you guys on the next one.